Om Dare Do Dare Dure Swaha. 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 Om Dare Do. I'm very happy to be here. So thank you very much for allowing me to come here and be the part of the Yunnan Pen, right? Yes. And today is the day where we must observe the practice of compassion and gratitude. And Yunnan Pen is about like the children repaying their kindness to their parents, right? And from Buddhist point of view, right, we have been born in samsara so many times that every sentient being has been our mother once or even more. So if we focus, right, on in-depth meaning of every sentient being being our mother throughout our lifetime, it points out how much we are interconnected with each other. So for example, when our neighbors are harmed, right, it affects us very much, and this is so well proven by COVID-19. So your life, right, or our life is not something that we alone make or alone create. There is a part of everyone who have been in our life, who are with us in our life, and every experiences you or we have, right, or you are having right now. So our life, right? So the point is that our life is not only something that we created by our own. It is related or connected with all sentient beings. And even for example, right? For example, today, right? Like how many works and participants of individuals have gone into making this event possible, making this event happen. So, but we choose to ignore the fact that everything is so intertwined, right? And we naturally, because of that, right, we choose to ignore the fact of everything is so interconnected, everything is so intertwined, we naturally develop the sense of individuality, right? The very individualistic attitude. Yes, so because of this attitude of individuality, that is why it is so hard for us to be compassionate and loving person, because we only think about us. We don't think about these connections that we have with sentient beings, living and dead. So because of interconnectedness, there is both, right, giving and receiving. It's neither only giving or nor only receiving. There's a both. When you give, you get something in return. So for example, right, because of many unfortunate demises, right, demises of many people, and a lot of struggles in their life, which actually gives us this today, right? Good opportunity for us to pray for them, right? Providing us a very special bond with dead ones and living. So it's because of many things coming together, right? So it's not done by some independent person, and it is not even possible. So to develop a sense of gratitude, a sense of compassion, right? We must understand that how we are acting, right? How we are at receiving any of other people's kindness and love as well. We are not only giving, we are also receiving it from other people as well. So it is very important for us to understand, right? We are also receiving lots of kindness and love from other people, so we can develop a sense of gratitude, a sense of compassion and love. So it is very important for all of us to have a very virtuous mind. Because recently, right, I have read somewhere in internet, I guess, that it says that whatever you keep in your mind, right, is likely to happen in your life. Yeah, so if you continue to believe what you have been believing for a long time, right, if you continue to believe what you have been believed, you will continue to act what you have been acting all the time. Yeah, so and if you continue to act what you have been acting, right, you will continue to get what you have always gotten. So if you want something very different in your life or in your work, right, what you have to do is to change your mind. That's the key. So it means that if you want to have a good in your life, you have to do good things. Yes, so when you do good things, when you give good things to other people, right, or provide or good service to other people, we must think that it is not we are only giving them, we are also receiving, because that's the power of interdependence. So there's a saying, right, in English that we don't decide our future, right, but we can decide our habit, because in our daily life, what we have been doing for a long time, it becomes our habit, right? So what we do in our daily life, we have the control, right? So that becomes our habit. So we can choose what kind of habit we want to have or develop, right? So we don't decide our future, but we can decide our habit. And that habit will definitely decide your future. Yes. So that's why, especially in this very special occasion, right, we must practice the compassion. If you want to have a very loving, if you want to be loved by others, if you want to have a very kind environment, if you want to have a very compassionate in your environment, friends, right? And what we must do is that we have to practice compassion. We, spread a love and compassion. And when you give, as I said, it will come back in return. Yeah, so most of the people might think, oh, compassion, love, kindness, these are very basic practices, but no. Compassion is one of the most noble characteristics of human being. Most of the problems we face in our daily life, right, suffering, anxiety, depression, is because we don't have enough practice of compassion. You know why? Because we are so selfish. We always think about ourselves. When we have something, we are not happy with that. We want more. Right? We don't have the appreciation of what we have right now in our life. That's why, because of being so very individual, right, very selfish, we suffers a lot. And for that, right, one of the most useful, simple way to get rid of that kind of suffering, of selfish, right, is compassion. Because the compassion is something that actually allow us to think of others instead of always focusing on oneself. Yes, so in by Shantideva, right, in Bodhicitta Avatara, it says that why compassion is so powerful. He said that because compassion gives us the strength to face your problem and also others' problem, and you still be happy about it. That's strength or energy that compassion brings in your life. So that's what I'm saying. It's very important to practice compassion. In Tibetan we call it Nintok. I think it's something like Nintok. It means that a strength. Yeah. Yes. So when you have a compassion, right, it refuses to be selfish. Yeah, and compassion is something that it is a willing to forgive other people, which I see lacking in a lot of people who think that they are practicing compassion, right? They say that, oh, I'm meditating on love and kindness, compassion, but I also see them not being able to forgive someone that they used to have history with. Right? They're not being able to forgive that. So it's also a lack of practice of compassion. Yes, so, and the compassion it also gives us the ability to understand someone else's situation. Yes, for example, sometimes people can be very mean to you, right? They might make a very mean comments to you. At that very time, can apply the practice of compassion, right? At that very moment, even though the very mean comments, you have a intention, right? You have that, you want that person to be happy. As long as he is happy, I do not care about whatever he say to me. If we have that power, if we have that understanding, right, the problem we face in our daily life will be reduced drastically. Yeah, so in our life, right, why our mother seems to be the greatest person in our life? There's only one reason, because their compassion and love toward their children, right? That's why when we think of our mother, we feel very loved, right? We feel very touched. It's because they have that kind of compassion and love toward the kids. That's why. That's the only reason. There's nothing else. Yeah, so as long as you have compassion in you, the least thing, right, you will do is that you will not harm anyone. That's the least thing. And that's also very, very good already. Yes, but people might think, oh, Rinpoche, practicing compassion is so hard because there are so many mean people around me, right? Or the working environment in my office is very tough. I can't be so compassionate, because it's tough out there. You might think like that. Of course, it's very tough because we don't have that habit of being compassionate. We don't have a habit of having love within ourselves, right? Of course, it is very hard, but we have to try. Yes, so even though you don't feel like when you practice compassion, even if you don't feel the compassion within you, what I always say is that try, fake it, right, until you make it, right? It's something that we do all the time. For example, like even to sleep properly, right? Even to sleep, what we first do, we pretend to sleep. Nobody just drop their head on the pillow and just at very moment instantly they fall asleep. No one can do that, right? But what we do, we try to close our eyes, right? Pretend, we know we are pretending to sleep, but we are not sleeping at that time. We know we are just faking it. And after a few minutes or after an hour, we fall asleep. So practice some compassion or any practice, something like that, because it needs time to be accustomed to that kind of living style, right? So that's why I always say, even though you don't feel compassion within you, but we have to fake it until it becomes very natural, or it becomes very normal to us. So we have to fake it to make until we make it exactly like the sleeping things. So that's why today I pray, right? I wish that all of the sentient beings they be free from suffering. They have the happiness in their life all the time. Even though I don't feel very compassionate, I don't feel having love within me so much. But as I say, we have to fake it, right, until it becomes real or normal to us. That's why I'm praying today, because today is a very special day, right? So that's why I pray for all sentient beings to be happy, to be free from cause of suffering and suffering itself. Because even though I don't feel very compassionate or so loving right now, but I pray because I'm just trying to fake it until I make it. So that's about it. Thank you very much.